Hello, my name is Mick McMahon. I'm with the English faculty and also a teaching fellow. A good icebreaker to start off class with, depending on, or it doesn't matter what subject you have students do a writing sample of what their greatest strengths are and weaknesses are for that particular subject. Go around the room, talk about those strengths and weaknesses with each individual student, get to know their names, and you can put up strengths and weaknesses on the board. That way you have an agenda for the whole entire quarter about strengths and weaknesses that everybody can work on. Hope it helps.
I'm Cardaville, a senior fellow for computer studies. One tip to get your class a successful start is to know the student names as soon as possible. Addressing the student by their name and looking straight through their eye makes a big difference than calling them by you. Also interact with each student at least once personally through a question, a comment, or an activity. Thank you.
Hi, this is Ed Russell from DISH. It's nice to talk to you this afternoon. What do you do in a class when your student's attention has gone, they've entered that altered state of consciousness? How do you get it back very quickly? I use 3 or 4 different tactics. These are my 3 favorite. Number 1 is hangman. It's quick, you can use terms with your subject, and it does get their attention back. Number 2, I also use hand gestures such as, is the microphone working? And maybe that's why they're not hearing me. And that works too because it makes a little noise and it changes the mode of presentation. Number 3, if I think a student in the back of the room is text messaging, and I did this the other day, what I will do is write this on the board and look back at the student and say, Dan, and point to this and embarrass Dan, and he'll stop texting. And number 4, of course, I tell them, if your cell phone rings, let it ring, I'll answer it. Thank you.
My name is Manoj Kaushal. I'm a faculty member for the School of Nursing and Health Studies, and a tip for teaching. One of the things that I try to do is keep my students interested by making them feel like they're part of the class, having them embrace it and take ownership. And the way to do that is to make the class interesting and fun. No matter how boring the material, you can always do something to liven it up. Also, before class starts, the first lesson, have the students introduce themselves to you, pass out a piece of paper and have them write down their name on it. And also write down what they think their biggest concern is and how to address it, or how they would address it, so they can make their stay at Robert Morris more productive and eventually graduate. Well, that's one of the things that I do in class, and I hope it works for you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ani Al-Nasir. I'm faculty with the Computer Studies Department. I would like to speak to you about motivating students' interest in the classroom. I think this is vital and very important to keep the students interested in the material that you're teaching. One of the things that I do, and that's of course if possible, is to bring a guest speaker who's, I prefer to bring an RMC graduate, a guest speaker who's working individual, to talk to them about the real life experiences that he's doing outside and how is that related to the class that you are teaching currently. I find it enjoyable, and students really relate to that very well. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Molly Zohoric with the Division of Science and Humanities at Robert Morris College, Senior Fellow. And how I get my students off to a great start is actually 2-way. The first thing I do is write a term from the course, and I have the students fill in the blank. And that sort of builds up their encouragement. And then I do the other part to pretty much run the classroom management, which is called the name game. And they have to stand in a line and tell us their name and the history of their name, and then everybody has to repeat it. And so they're doing 3 things. They're listening, they're keeping quiet and focused, and they're repeating, which helps them learn. It encourages participation, and then I tell them that they have to test me, and by the first week I have to know 80% of the names. And that usually helps. Thank you.
Hi, I'm David Pyle, Robert Morris College, Division of Science and Humanities, and I'm here today to offer a great first aid tip that's worked well for me. Hope you enjoy it as well. I call it the First Day Survey. It has a front and it has a back. I distribute these to the students and allow them to fill out surveys. On the front, ask them questions like whether they enjoy school or not and how confident they are. On the backs, more open-ended questions. We have what are their favorite books, their favorite movies, magazines that they read, their strengths, their weaknesses, what they expect out of an instructor, and what they expect out of a student. It allows me to get to know the students a little better, and we highlight all the information and kind of show how everybody's the same. Thanks a lot.
Hi, I'm Catherine Stark and I'm Senior Fellow in the School of Business. And I'm here to talk a little bit about what I do to encourage group development in the classroom. Oftentimes in the School of Business we have group projects, and so what I do is after the teams are formed I do a little fun activity, and I've collected a whole bunch of puzzles that are ages 3 to 7, 25 pieces, and I do an exercise with them where they have to solve the puzzles, turning the puzzles upside down so they cannot see the picture, they cannot talk, and they have a very limited amount of time. We talk about the resources that they need to be successful, and one of the key things is communication. So after that amount of time, I let them do the puzzle a second time where they can see the pieces, where they can see the cover, and generally they're much more successful a second time around, and then they have that sense of accomplishment. Laying out your project, giving them goals, knowing when the deadlines are due really helps your students be successful. That's my tips for successful groups. Thank you.